All right. So as I just said that, the industry has grown phenomenally. The wedding industry, the event, the MICE and everything else. But if you look at the formal learning and the kind of skilled people who are entering the industry, there's a huge gap. I think we have largely semi-skilled and not really trained people coming into the sector. Maybe that is stopping us from the big leap. Dr. Vadera, let me start with you. Do you think the formal event education remains still a peripheral story? It's yet to become a mainstream part as far as the education and events is concerned?
Well, thank you first for inviting me out here. Thank you very much. I would like to say that being a part of Skill Industry, Skill India, NSDC and MSDE, I feel that yes, agreed, there's a huge gap between the industry, the event industry and the education system. But Skill India, NSDC and all these bodies are making massive efforts to create bridging initiatives so that they can bridge the gap between the event industry and the education system. I have been with the Wizcraft MIME for the last 5 years, which is the education division of Wizcraft, as we all know. And I have noticed that in these last 5 years, the demand for event education, event-oriented education, is growing by leaps and bounds in the universities, in the colleges. We get calls from Bangalore, Jagran Lake University, everywhere. Everyone wants to start an event and experiential marketing course. So we right now as Wizcraft MIME, we have 4 years BBA and BA courses. Plus I myself, I'm the Director of Communication in IICS. We have introduced 1 year diploma, 2 years advanced diploma, and 3 years degree course in event management and experiential marketing, which shows what the demand is. The gap is already being filled. Number 3, I feel that the new education policy insists on skill development. Skill development is a very, very important part of the new education policy and has to be introduced in the education system. Then I'm invited as a speaker on forums with CBSC, NCERT, and I come across a lot of parents who we educate on how important event education is. We make them realize कि सिर्फ डॉक्टर जाके नहीं बन जाना, engineer नहीं बन जाना, MBA नहीं बन जाना. Event industry has the largest scope because it's billions and billions of dollar industry and it's growing at a great rate. And lastly, we have very organized bodies who have made exclusive policies, including the event industry, the bodies like MESC, NSDC, which is Skill India, MSDE, FICCI Frames Committee. They have made policies where they have included event education. So now event education is going to be given a top importance where skilling is concerned. And also, they have developed QPs, which are a very important part of Pradhan Mantri Vikas Yojana. And also not to forget that Sabas Joseph from Wizcraft and Sushma Gaikwad from Wizcraft MIME have been instrumental in forming these QPs with MESC and MSDE. So I think that gap is already being, bridged, and we are shortening the gap. Thank you.
Thanks for setting the context and sharing those thoughts. I think it also underlines that the growing importance of event education. Dr. Sachdeva, if we look at the mainstream big brands, what they've done is they have treated event education as an extension of communication studies. They have just still clubbed it together. Are there any risks of this approach? Do you think we need to specialize and treat them very differently?
Of course, yes. We are at Amity School of Communication. We are actually focusing on this particular need, which you have just spoken about, that, there should be a specialized knowledge and there should be a specialized discipline, which is teaching events. We are having our 2-year program, MA in PR and events. Everyone think that it is a very generic thing which can be taken further. But I believe that without events, nothing can happen in this universe. All the brands are doing the businesses, everything is happening via events, and events is the only platform where we can come in contact with the consumers. And nowadays, as experiential learning is happening, and things are happening at a very faster pace, all the brands are in competition with each other. So I believe that this is the only event industry which can make that happen, and all true professionals can come into picture, which are the youth of today, students of today. They will be framing the new event industry in the coming times. Of course, yes, the risk is very high, because now we are confining the education still in classrooms. What I feel that they should be given more case studies into live simulations. Brands should be working on the capstone projects, which we are coming up with in our innovation strategy in our courses. But yes, new youth has to frame a new universe for themselves. And as you mentioned in the previous panel discussion, that automation is coming in and AI is intervening, and they are at such a faster pace that you cannot ignore that at any spur of time. So that is the one thing which we have to go with the technology hand in hand, and we cannot escape it. And we, as academicians, as an industry, as a policymakers, as a brands, we have to make our future generation such a pro to the new technology interventions, that we should take the technology with us to make a very, very nice future for all of us under this universe.
I want some real-time stories also. I mean, in your campus, you have so many programs. How much of appetite do newcomers, the new admission seekers have for the event industry? What's the real-life scenario like?
The thing is that they are very fascinated to events, but they are once they are coming up, and we are making them acquainted to the fact that events is not only a fascination. It's
I think
about
they unfortunately, sorry to come in here, but events is seen as a logistics space. They
Yes.
think it's all about logistics and coordination. There's no
Exactly.
cerebral part of it, right?
Exactly. And that must be known to the student initially, but yes, once they are joining us, it is a fun and a very interesting way of showcasing your creativity and coming up with a new and innovative ideas. But yes, they are very fascinated with the feel of being seen, being visible, and they are thinking that this is a very flamboyant kind of a thing which is happening over here. But yes, once they are, getting acquainted to the logistics and the hard work which is making the real-time event happen, that is the one thing which they come across once they're joining these courses, specialized courses which we are coming up with, as we are also, progressing towards a very streamlined industry. And as event nowadays, I think it is in a progress stage. I will not say that it is already streamlined, because once they are entering into the industry, whatever is being taught as a theory part needs to be taken in the industry. But unfortunately, brands are taking them as an interns, and things are happening at that pace. They are just taking them on the registration desk or something like that. So what I feel that, they should be a very, very good alignment of things. They should be known from start to the end, and they should be industry mentors who will be mentoring them throughout the process of their academia, which we have just initiated in Amity, that we have assigned industry mentors to each and every student whosoever is coming up, so that once they'll be entering the industry, nothing new is happening to them, and they are already ready for that particular thing.
Rohil, I would like to add out here what you were saying. We had a very famous movie director. I don't know, आप लोगों में से कितने लोगों ने कुमार गौरव की पुरानी मूवी देखी है with Vijay Bharti. What was her name? Vijay Bharti, I guess. Love Story. How many of you have seen? Please, can you raise your hands? So हमारे time के भी लोग हैं यहाँ पे. So Rohel, the director, I was podcasting him for our institute, and he said something very weird, which made me laugh. He said, "Events में कोई creativity होती है? Event skill में कैसे आ गया? Skill industry में event कैसे आ गया?" So like I just laughed. I could not contradict him since he was our guest, but I felt there's so much of creativity in events. The whole event is created by you guys. And I really felt like contradicting, but I didn't say anything. But that's the impression the old generation have about event industry. It's not a skill.
Gurna Sahab, I think this is a very serious thing.
KJ sir, आप बताइए, मैंने सही बोला या नहीं बोला?
We're seen in a very negative light, and students are not even coming for.
Absolutely, bingo. Bus, exactly.
I think it's also upon the industry leaders, if somebody is interning with them, to give them a slight taste of that, is beyond those putting the stage together and the lights together. I think it's upon us also. So Dr. Paheli,
I think I'll just add to
Sure.
this discussion that when we are talking about, we should also remember the kind of generation that we are looking at. So the millennials and the Gen Z generation to whom we are addressing this issue of event management, they have not seen the socialization part of it. So for them, being confined to their mobile phones and being confined to one typical kind of setting, for them, I think it becomes very difficult to gauge that particular part that, we have grown up with seeing weddings where dormitories were booked and we were sleeping and lying and and talking to each other. But I think with this generation, I think that part is missing where they have not socialized to that extent where they know that, okay, this is how meticulously the things can be planned and things can be done. So I think that generation also needs to be kept at the helm when we are addressing such issues.
at APJ, event education is taught. What are you reading about the same question, about the appetite for this stream? Are people really eager to get admissions here?
Okay, for when it comes to event, the students have a very, very glossy, or I would say a very rosy picture about the event industry, and they see a lot of flamboyance attached to that industry. Once they step in there, they feel that, oh my God, this is not the place which I had imagined. And it's a shocker for them. And so they keep dabbling between that, am I getting into the right place or I am not getting into the right place? So I think that is where the perception is and the reality. So there is a lot of gap between perception and reality. So even there are very few genuine takers of it. There are many who take it like, now I think this is not the right thing for me. So that's how the gap is there in the perception of the students. So.
Wedding industry, I think one of the biggest, it is the engine of the economy and everything else that we have spoken about, and yet you find it's semi-skilled, you don't find the right talent there. Since you work with this industry, you're part of it, what are the real challenges that you face when you don't have a qualified person, not trained enough, they've just experienced, they're self-taught. What are there challenges working and finding the right people in this industry?
I believe they are not ready for 4 a.m. chaos, which we feel on the field when we are there.
They will say Gen Z or overall?
I think people who learn in the classrooms, they haven't seen the original chaos at the wedding, whatever is happening at 4 a.m., the family chaos, or this is not there, or something, whatever is happening, we all know, we are all from wedding industry, and we know what happened there. They are not ready for it. Aren't we seeing, there was one reel very viral of one destination wedding, one very famous influencer, I would not name it. She got all the burns on her entire body during some fireworks, that color bombs sort of thing. So don't we feel that this is the kind of consequences we can get from unskilled people and not trained people? Probably just must be only a labor, but he wasn't aware, how much distance should be from the bride and groom to the color bomb, and that such big thing happened on her special wedding day during the Varmala. I think that's
One
kind
of the
big-
real examples of
Yes.
what it can lead to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just add on to what she said, events and experiences stay. And events is one thing which creates a very long lasting impression of whatever you are doing, because there are large number of audience and the stakes are involved. So what I believe, if in case there is a lack of knowledge or maybe proper execution problem with the people who are not lined up with this particular stages like conceptualization till carrying out, what I believe that is a major backlash which an owner of the event company has to face, or maybe the people who are there have to face. One of the incident happened to us also. There was one event in the family only. That was a major family wedding. Everyone reached to the venue. They did a destination wedding, but the event planner was not very well trained for the things. No one knows, where the venue is, where they have to go. They are rushing here and there. There are different venues for different wedding, stages like haldi and all that. People are not aware because messages are not coming on their this thing. That track, that checklist is being missed. That proper meticulation is missed. That planning and proper execution and staffing briefing is being missed. And what I believe that has actually made us lose the essence of that particular event. So what I believe that there should be a proper trained personnel, or maybe people who are being hired for this particular thing needs to be trained enough for the events.
Dr. Vadera, there's a dichotomy of sorts. You are training your students to enter an industry. They are trained and everything else. And then they are in that mainstream plugged in, a largely unskilled, people don't really understand how to take professionals and absorb them. Is it a real problem? I just want to understand.
Oh, well, I would like to say that, yes, at IICS, we are training them to become absolutely perfect entrepreneurs in the industry. And the government is supporting us. We have the support of MESC, MSDE, NSDC. All of us, them are supporting. But I feel that for my last 27 years in this industry, I have friends who started with Chotu Sa company. If you don't mind me mentioning, Rashi Entertainment, EMG, Sharad was sitting right there, 10 events, even KJ se to bahut senior hai, pranam. So, wo sab companiyon ne, they started very chota. 1 man, 2 people army. And they were untrained. Over the years, by experimenting, by innovation, they built a $1 billion empire. So it's not right to say that, people who are untrained, they cannot make it there and they're not fit for that. They have made it. They today are leading EMA. They are the leaders of EMA today. And especially, there's so much of talent in these chotu states like Odisha, West Bengal, Assam, Madhya Pradesh में इतना talent है that event companies, the solopreneurs, the entrepreneurs are just mushrooming up. And they are doing brilliantly. Some of them even start as volunteers and then build up an empire. I have so many friends in this company who I know like 27 years ago, they started as volunteers. Or maybe getting girls to do the seating arrangement and looking after the guest. And now they have business empires. So it's not wrong to say, it's not right to say that, those people.
They are in the safe hands, you mean to say, but those safe hands have been self-taught, right?
They are self-taught.
Right.
And moreover now, the ministry is making giant efforts.
I was coming to that.
Giant
Yes,
efforts.
yes. I want to hear that story. What are they doing to ensure that this gap closes?
Yes. So MSDE, MESC, Skill India, NSDE, FICCI forums, they have started a skill development. Right from a person, we give certification to people who is a plumber and a carpenter, unko bhi degrees di jati hai, to an institute like IICS, who has mentors like Rasool Pukkutti, the Oscar winner along with the A.R. Rahman, Slumdog Millionaire, Pushpa 1, Pushpa 2. Mentors such as Neeta Lula, who has done costumes of movies like Jodha Akbar, Dev Das, mentors like Sushma Gaikwad, Sabas Joseph, and all of them are masters in the field. So what MESC has done and MSDE has done, they have collaborated with these A-grade mentors to bring their curriculum to our institute called as Indian Institute of Creative Skills. We are imparting their curriculum, especially Wizcraft. Wizcraft Mime has partnered with MESC to give their curriculum to IICS with their faculty. So, what the students are learning is impeccable, is from the very best who actually started the event management industry. ये वो नाम है जिन्होंने इवेंट मैनेजमेंट इंडस्ट्री शुरू की थी, Sabas Joseph, Andre Viraf. So, they are our mentors. They come and teach. Not only that, while the training is going on, we have around 60%, you can say, on-ground training, and 40% we have, your theory work. So, in this 60%, these students go out and get experience as interns. Maybe handling the sound, maybe handling the backstage, maybe handling the camera, maybe handling the seating. There are so many things to do in the industry, in an event. So they are actually getting live training on the job. So that even my student called Sudeshna, she came back to me after a mega event and she said, "Ma'am, lighting ye galat tha. Ma'am, हमने जो सीखा है उसके according ना sound में ये गलती थी." And I felt so proud that इतनी छोटे technical details बच्चे notice कर रहे हैं. So that's what Skill India and MESC is imparting to the students.
Yes, add on to what she said, that we are also providing the same thing, because live experiences are very important. Live mentorship is very important, as I mentioned before. What we are doing for press conferences, we are having our own studio in which we are making them do mock conferences. Add on to that, we are just sending them to the brands for the real life experience, so that actually they should be knowing what are the challenges which are coming, which may come their way when they will be entering into industry. But rightly said by ma'am that, initially there were people who were not very well trained, and they have actually the owner of big entrepreneurship right now. But yes, we are dealing with Generation Z, and they are born with gadgets, coming up with the new AI interventions every day. So we need to have that particular feel of the events, that how the things will move up in the future. So we'll have to make them future ready. So for that matter, we have our customized courses in which we are making them, making real-time budgets, real-time planning from conceptualization to the carrying out stage, so that they should be knowing the nitty-gritty details of every event in every sector, be it photography, be it PR, be it any other event coverage. If they are, we are sending them on the ground to do the recce, that how the things move up, what is the layout. So they should be knowing each and everything by doing, not confined to the classrooms anymore.
No, I was even coming to that, because sometimes, not talking of your institution, but
Yeah,
overall,
of course, yes.
that is a belief that what is taught inside You have to undo the outside. You have to unlearn and then relearn, you know. Are we actively closing this gap? Because I know some people who study in colleges, and what they do is they're rushing in the morning for the attendance. That is the only reason they're going to colleges at times. Are we looking into these real reasons for education? Are people really interested in the classroom at all? And if not, are we kind of understanding their concerns and redesigning the curriculum in a way that they come on their own and enjoy being there on the campus?
Of course, yes, doing an event is fun. At the same time, learning about the responsibilities and making the on-ground execution of the things. So we are making them do. We have made major changes in the way we are conducting our classrooms, because initially it was very much confined to the classrooms, as you mentioned, and people were coming for the attendance and all. But that will not suffice the purpose of being there.
Right.
For events, you cannot confine the students for being inside the classrooms. They should be going out and doing the stuff on their own, so to know and understand what industry means to them. Because events carry stakes. Once they'll be out in the industry, every event is very, very important. And one wrong memory will go in the mind of so many people because it is being recorded, and there are so many audiences, their perceptions are being affected through that one thing which may go wrong. So we have to prepare them for that particular thing, and all the courses which we were discussing initially, they have been revised at university levels. And I believe that in all the institutions they must be revising, because that is the real need of the hour, to make them, industry focused and not confined to classes anymore.
I would like to add to that, it depends a lot upon the mentors also, their faculty also.
Yes.
If their faculty has a style of teaching, like a storyteller,
True.
who's himself or herself experienced the industry, the students die to come and sit in the class and learn from him or her. Like, I sometimes take their classes and I'm into stories. I tell them, Mera aisa show hua, usme I was singing, I was anchoring, I was singing, and the dancers were there. Zenith was performing behind me. It was a mega event. I won't name the event company. And it was a hydraulic stage. And suddenly, gaate stage phata aur main niche gir gayi. You know what happened? And I was going to be crushed because this hydraulic stage was coming back. So they were like, फिर क्या हुआ मैम, फिर क्या हुआ? I said, अरे, there is a friend of mine, Kuldeep, उसने मुझे कॉलर से पकड़ा और खींच लिया और मैं बच गई. So your faculty, your mentors have to be absolutely fabulous speakers and storytellers. And students will be queuing outside your classroom to attend the class, I feel.
I think I'll digress a little bit from this, because I don't know what happens at a very basic level. If you talk about, in classroom there is a general engagement crisis, I would say, and I think this engagement crisis is, and you can see it across all the platforms where we are dealing with students and that particular generation. So what I have seen is that when you talk about pedagogical designing, there is a lot to be done here in India. I'm not pinpointing any particular university. Like, for example, if you look at Chicago, if you look at NYU and their courses on event management, there is a lot of gaming technology that they use to instill the idea of event. So it's not always possible for all the colleges to make them reach to the industry. I mean, it's practically not possible, because how many people they will take for internship? I'm asking you a general question, that every second student would want to intern with you. So, I mean, it's not possible. So, I mean, what kind of pedagogical changes that you are trying to bring in the classroom, where you are providing the real-time simulation to the students from where they can learn and from where they can get the real life experience? For example, when you talk about ISB Hyderabad, they are the first one in India to do this, where when you teach case studies, it is not through pen and paper. It is they give you a VR and device to be wore on the head, and they will, if you want to see Africa, they will take a tour of Africa through that, and then they see that what is happening and how to analyze that situation, because it's practically not possible for engaging student real time in the industry. So I think those are the basic challenges which are there. So that needs to be addressed. So that is how.
Also, what is also disturbing is when you see some of the most successful startup founders, one, I won't name him, recently said that college education, college degree is a waste of time. And I don't know how it has a ripple effect, but then people do say this, and they say it with a certain confidence. I don't know how the academia would respond to that. But Divya, there's another factor. By the time you learn something, say the wedding industry, the trend has changed. Something else has come in by that time. So how do you think educating people would really keep pace with the shifting nature of the industry that wedding industry is?
I'm glad you asked this. So I'm also a college certified person.
Oh.
I learned some softwares there. Of course, no industry exposure at that time. Whatever we learned on the field. That happens even these days. The things are changing so fast. Even the softwares we are learning in the college, by the time we started the company, or we went for internship, and everything was changed. The software we learned, we cannot work on even that anymore. So I don't know what exactly are we teaching currently. If there is a hybrid education, as ma'am said, well, very well done. I mean, if it is happening. But by the time, because it's been 12 years I've started the company. Before that I was in films and stuff. So before that, that was no hybrid education at that time. But if we are doing right now, very well. I mean, if we are doing so, yeah.
Wonderful. Dr. Vadera, if you look at the industry-academia interface, how important is that? You mentioned it earlier, but I just want to get another sense of it from your side. And what all are you doing differently than the main, or I won't say mainstream, than the other institutions are doing, as far as the industry-academia interface is concerned?
Well, as far as industry academia is concerned, how are we different? Well, first of all, the curriculum is
designed by practitioners.
Designed by people who are actually in the industry,
right,
and not just somebody who's a professor.
Right.
Somebody who's pioneered events. They have designed the entire curriculum, number one. Number two, ISCS, as I said, has the top mentors. Whether it be Nita Lula, Rasool Pukutti, A.R. Rahman, whether it be Sushma Gaikwad, animation and gaming, we have very prominent names, Neely Games with us. So we have the people who are actually in the industry, working out there, who have designed the curriculum completely. Then we aim at giving them internship in those very places. And we give them paid internship of up to 50,000 in the last 3 months of the graduation. Paid internship, which I feel no institute is giving at the moment. Then we give them a global exposure. We are taking them on an international trips where they train at maybe at a Cannes or a BAFTA. They train as interns, and the entire expense is taken up by Indian Institute of Creative Skills. So I think these are the few things which makes us a little different from the other people in the industry.
Dr. Sachdeva, my personal experience when interns come is the first question, will we get a certificate? That's their main concern. But at an institutional level, do you really handhold them into, they don't just get a superficial exposure, you mentor them, you handhold them and ensure the exposure is real. Do you really do that? I mean...
we are having SAP programs, study abroad programs, in which they will have amenities everywhere. So we are sending them, to different countries to have a feel of this. We are having 3C Continental program in journalism. If somebody wish to opt, they will be having a continental experience, and we are making it so damn better for them for in each and every day that we are having industry mentors. No doubts about that. We are working in with sync with the industry. Every time we are calling the top-notch people to handhold these students at what exactly is happening in the industry with the academia, with the theoretical part as well, and making them a very, proper streamlining that how the things should work formally in this particular industry. Because this industry, when they are being hired, they are little vague. And when they will be asked by the industry people that what they know, like ma'am mentioned that, new softwares she has learned. But yes, of course, nowadays, this is the need of the hour. Those who are coming up, all the students who have to appear who have to go next in the industry, they are expected that they should be knowing the different applications which are very new. They are expected to know the softwares. They should be knowing the trends, what is going in tourism, what is going in weddings. Eco-friendly weddings are going on. That is one of the new thing which is happening nowadays. So we are just letting them have the base in the mock events. Add on to that, we are sending them abroad as well. And yes, certification is very important. But there are professional skill development activities which are specifically designed for each and every program we are offering, in which they will have to complete those particular PhDs, and then they will be marked on that, and the scale is properly, framed for them, and industry mentors are being called for the assessment. It's not like a very in-house kind of a thing, and we are the only people who are just marking them and letting them go. And once they are out, they're not, acquainted to the things, what is happening next. In spite of that, they are more, thoughtful about that, what may be the next trend coming up in the industry.
Of course, I mean, you talked about eco-friendly weddings in
Yes, that's
EQI
very
of
much-
600. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Dr. Paheli, from a purely academic point of view, what must change in the curriculum that we design in our campuses today, where you really feel as an expert that these gaps need to be addressed for education to be more than just a certificate, more than just a tick mark?
Okay, I think where the students basically lack is observation. I think there is a huge dearth of students who are keen observers of very minute details around themselves. So I think the more, like for example, when I at APJ Institute of Mass Communication, when I teach consumer behavior, I send them to various events or maybe trade fair, and I am very particular that please don't write essays about it. Make sure that you observe people, get the key learnings from them, get the consumer insights from, what you have seen, what you have learned on the ground, and then come back to the class and then share those experiences. So I think it is very important. Mostly when you see the discipline, event management, it has been a very silo kind of thing that we have been doing. So there is a huge need for being multidisciplinary in the aspect of teaching. For example, the event management students, they are far from knowing what the nuanced consumer behavior would be, or what the emotional aspect of the clients they are dealing with. So I think those are the elements that needs to be very, very nicely curated in the curriculum for them to know that, apart from just the numbers and the data that they are crunching these days, there should be something more than that they need to be observant about. That's human relations where everything is based on. So that is something very important.
Absolutely. Divya, you're a practitioner. If you had to design an education program for the wedding and social events today, what would you absolutely include and exclude and discard?
I think emotional intelligence is also one of the factor I would like to include, other than which they mentioned, the hybrid education, as I earlier said. But emotional intelligence, the people these days coming, the generation Alpha or Gen Z generation currently, we are working with them, what we have seen is they are not very emotionally intelligent people. See, we have to understand on event, we are still working.
And G's are laughing.
Sorry, guys. So we are they are not still ready to deal with the original scenarios. Very Pinteresty boards they have. They have the mood board of, Pinterest vibes and all those. Great thing. But we shouldn't forget that, there are two people getting married. Other than Pinteresty things, there are a lot more things which are very important. Emotional intelligence is one of the key factor which we should consider.
Okay, emotional intelligence. So our next panel is about to start, but I take the liberty of 30-second each answer. Dr. Vadera, starting with you. So where are we headed? Such a big industry, such a big workforce needed, and then, we are on our way doing our bits and pieces, but where are we headed? Where do you see things going over the next couple of years?
I see things going in a very positive direction because I'm a positive person and I always think positive. So I think they are going in a very positive direction. All they need is the right mentorship. They need the right guidance. They need the right place to intern, the right education system, the support of the government, the support of all the divisions, the policymakers, the support of bodies like EMA, support of bodies like Wizcraft Mime. We need to have the support of all of these because we all are headed in a wonderful direction and it's a sunrise industry. And if we have educated students who go out there as entrepreneurs, setting their own industry, their own event industry, I think nothing can be more beautiful than that.
I believe that event is one thing which no one can escape from because event is a base and a boon to brands and businesses in the coming times. Of course, yes, right now as well. So I believe that, as mentioned in the previous panel discussion, that UX needs to be more improvised, students needs to be more focused, and real life challenges and crisis management needs to be taught to them. They should not be confined in the classrooms anymore, and they should be working on the capstones, and they should be given maximum exposure to the real life situations to make them industry ready for the future generations. Thank you.
I think as far as all the industries are concerned, we are moving towards hyper-personalization. So I think that's where the industry is headed. And we need to understand that in hyper-personalization, what are the elements that needs to be taken extra care. And I think that's where we are talking about emotional intelligence. I think that is the key to get closer to to all the audiences that we are catering to.
Divya, do you think we have kind of overemphasized the role of education and people can actually self-learn and we don't have to worry about it?
I do think. I'm sorry about this, but yeah, because that's what I'm saying from my experience, as I shared earlier. Whatever I learned in my college didn't give me any sort of benefit in the industry. So yeah, that's my take.
College degrees are ornamental.
Yes, so I think professionally trained people over certificates is what I would say.
Right. Wonderful. I think we have kind of tried to nail the subject, but there's so much to it. And the best part is that the event industry is now waking up to the fact that we need skilled workforce, we need trained workforce. I think that is the beginning of this change. And thank you. I wish we had more time to discuss, but thank you all for joining us on this panel. Please, a round of applause for them.